the Crusades led to some instances of theological exchange. European theologians and Muslim scholars engaged in debates about faith, ethics, and governance. This dialogue, though limited, enriched the intellectual landscape of both cultures. Chapter 6. The Impact on Literature and Culture. The Crusades inspired a wealth of literature and cultural narratives that reflected the interaction of different traditions. 1. Epic poetry and romance. The Crusades gave rise to a genre of literature that romanticized knightly exploits and cultural encounters. Examples include the Chanson de Roland and the Song of Antioch, which blended historical events with mythical elements. European writers admired and mythologized Muslim leaders like Saladin, depicting him as a noble and chivalrous adversary. 2. Cross-cultural mythology. Stories of mystical lands and exotic peoples, encountered or imagined during the Crusades, fueled the European fascination with the East. These tales influenced works like the Travels of Marco Polo and later Orientalist literature. Chapter 7. Challenges and Limitations of Cultural Exchange. Despite the many instances of exchange, the Crusades were also marked by mistrust, conflict, and cultural barriers that limited mutual understanding. 1. Religious intolerance. The Crusades were deeply rooted in religious zealotry, often leading to the destruction of cultural artifacts and suppression of local traditions. Crusader occupations sometimes resulted in the displacement of local populations, disrupting cultural continuity. 2. Fragmented societies. Internal divisions within both Crusader and Muslim societies limited the extent of cultural integration. Rivalries among Crusader states and between Muslim factions often hindered sustained interaction. 3. Appropriation without recognition. Many elements of Islamic and Byzantine culture adopted by Europeans were stripped of their original context, leading to a lack of acknowledgement. Chapter 9. The Crusades' Influence on Artistic and Architectural Innovations. The cultural exchange during the Crusades had a profound impact on art and architecture in both Europe and the Islamic world. The interaction of Crusaders with Byzantine and Islamic art and architectural traditions introduced new techniques, styles, and motifs, blending diverse influences into enduring cultural forms. 1. Religious architecture. The Crusades inspired a fusion of architectural styles in churches, mosques, and fortifications, combining elements from Romanesque, Gothic, Byzantine, and Islamic traditions. Churches and cathedrals in Europe. Crusaders who returned to Europe brought back inspiration from Eastern religious architecture. Domes, mosaics, and intricate geometric designs from Byzantine and Islamic mosques influenced the construction of Gothic and Romanesque cathedrals. Examples. The octagonal shape of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem inspired European churches, while ribbed vaulting and pointed arches, elements common in Islamic architecture, were integrated into Gothic design. Mosques and Islamic influence. While Islamic architecture remained dominant in the Levant, Crusader influence led to subtle changes in some local structures. For example, Crusader castles that were converted into Islamic fortresses adopted blended defensive features. 2. Fortification and military architecture. The Crusades were a watershed moment for military architecture. The need for secure strongholds in the Levant led to innovations that spread to both Europe and the Middle East. Crusader castles. Castles like Croc de Chevaliers in Syria and Montfort Castle in Israel combined European defensive techniques with local influences. These fortresses featured concentric walls, arrow slits, and massive gates, reflecting both Western and Islamic styles. Fortification techniques. European builders adopted features such as moats, inner keeps, and towers from Islamic and Byzantine fortresses. In return, Muslim architects learned from Crusader designs, incorporating enhanced stone masonry and layered defenses. 3. Decorative arts. The Crusades introduced Europeans to the rich decorative traditions of the Islamic world, leading to the incorporation of new materials, motifs, and techniques in European art. Mosaics and frescoes. The vivid colors and geometric patterns of Byzantine and Islamic mosaics influenced European frescoes and stained glass. Example. The use of interlocking geometric designs in medieval European tiles and windows drew directly from Islamic patterns. Luxury goods. Textiles such as silks and carpets from the Islamic world became popular in European courts, influencing local weaving techniques. Metalwork, including filigree designs and Damascene steel, inspired the craftsmanship of European weapons and armor. Chapter 10. The Impact of Trade on Cultural Exchange. Trade during the Crusades served as a key vehicle for cultural interaction, creating pathways for the transfer of goods, ideas, and technologies between East and West. 1. Mediterranean port cities as cultural hubs. Cities such as Acre, Tyre, Venice, and Genoa became crossroads of commerce and culture during the Crusades. These ports facilitated the movement of luxury goods, including spices, sugar, silks, and gemstones, scientific manuscripts, and artistic traditions, exchanged through both trade and the settlement of diverse populations. 2. Influence on European cuisine. The introduction of Eastern culinary ingredients and techniques changed the diet of medieval Europe. Spices, black pepper, cinnamon, and saffron became staples in European kitchens, brought back by crusaders and merchants.